Hello, and welcome to the Statik Institute of Retention Analysis. This video is for those who have played Statik on the PSVR and are seeking an explanation of what's going on. I explain who we're actually playing as, the secret ending, and what those interludes in between puzzles are. I also noticed a detail in Little Nightmares 2 that links it with Statik, and I talk about the possible implications of that later in this video. Obviously, everything is still up to interpretation, but I'm excited to share with you my thoughts. These are games that need to be experienced first, so I highly recommend that if you love puzzles, that you come back to this video after you've played them. Seriously, I'm going to spoil everything, so please go and have your own unique experience. Now then, sit back, relax, and soak in the knowledge I'm about to gift you. Let's start with the meat, puppet, of the story, the end of the game. It might have even gone over your head.
Anyway, how about we get this silly old thing removed? Free you from the endless weight of it, so you can take what you've learned and move on. I know it's primitive, but it's the best we have right now. And it gets the job done. Still, it always brings a slight tear to my eye when we're done with one and we have to throw it away.
We're lulled into believing that Dr. Ingen is talking about the puzzle box, but he's actually talking about the human. The human is the silly old thing that needs to be removed, and the primitive thing to be thrown away.
There. Feeling better already, I should think. Less weighed down. Still, in spite of their obvious flaws, they're really rather remarkable. Depending, of course, on the machine controlling them. It can feel impossible at times, but we must move on. You and I, in search of them. My wonderful machine. I'm so very proud of you.
Up until that end cutscene, we've been misled to believe that we are the human test subject.
The unit in front of you is made up of a number of elements under your direct control. It's easy to be a little heavy-handed in the beginning. Anyway, as you can see, I'm not here. It's just you. Just you, the room, and that thing. That thing you can't escape.
And in a meta way, we as the player are a human test subject, with the VR headset completely taking over our view, hands firmly attached to the PS controller while the game tests us. Misdirection is a classic psych research technique, by the way. However, what is evident is that we are playing from the perspective of the machine that attaches to and controls the human. That's right, that's us.
Well, I guess welcome back to the Statik Institute of Retention. I think we should begin with a quick functionality check.
Literally, a functionality test to check that we can manipulate the human to use each of the buttons, that we can hold them down, that we can move the joysticks in all directions and click them. Then we do a test connecting up batteries. Test batteries. A test battery is a set of tests grouped together and given to applicants for a job or position. Someone did their psychology research. Ingen then asks if the machine can smell through the human.
Actually, can you even smell through that thing?
Ingen and the machine wouldn't have to worry about time if they're not human.
Well, today is going to be rather special, because at last time is against us both.
And Ingen talks here as if he and the thing he's talking to are not included as humans.
Humans are rather complex things, aren't they? Can't sum up their feelings with a simple happy or sad. Sometimes.
When we are released from the endless weight, our view is reduced to that of a fuzzier sight with a little arrow as our pointer, like that of a mouse. This is our true form and what we see during the interludes. I guarantee that if you replay the game with the fact that we're the machine in mind, you'll pick up on the subtle clues hidden in plain sight. Did you know that there was a secret ending? The secret ending gives us a lot of context and was a whole lot of fun to figure out, so if you haven't done it yet and you want to master it for yourself, pause here and come back after. Across the puzzles, there are extra clues that I think Dr. Ingen was providing so that we could free ourselves from that thing we can't escape. In a way, I think it's Dr. Ingen's attempt to test whether we, as a machine, can use lateral thinking, literally solving puzzle boxes we've already mastered by using indirect clues and viewing the problems in a new and different light. Dr. Ingen, he's an interesting guy. I actually think he's a machine or android himself that craves interaction, so I think he's trying to see whether we're becoming more human by providing us these extra puzzles. It's the persistent 3 AM question when you should be sleeping, right? Can machines have a conscience? Can they feel? Can we really say that human and machine are so different? And I think this is where we get the least vague, but not confirmed, indication that this added layer of puzzle is intended to prove that we, as this machine, are actually alive. When you correctly enter the secret solve, you receive this confirmation symbol. And I've actually seen this referenced on the internet as a static, a cool name. But where else have we seen this? That's right, the one with the security cameras after you make the cocktail and supposedly flatline the human test subject. So to me, the symbol also implies a heartbeat and life. In the actual secret ending itself, it becomes clear that we're in the same location as those underwater sort of moments or interludes in between puzzles when our human is asleep, and we're given the opportunity to listen in on Dr. Ingen and his phone calls. It's also where we physically build a container that we'll eventually upload to using the data we've collected from the human we controlled in the final chapter. I really enjoyed the psych techniques this game employed. Misdirection.
Yes, happy, sad, blah, blah, blah. But you'll see. In the end, it's all that matters.
Gaining consent from the participant.
I understand and accept all possible consequences of this retention.
I even wondered if they called the interludes the subconscious. So, with that said, let's do a quick experiment. Our very own special questionnaire room or square. In a moment, I'm going to remove the orange triangle, and I want you to tell me what you see. Well, what if I show you this next to it? Does that change your answer? In psychology, this is called priming, and Static uses this if you find the cage before the bird picture in the voyeur level. Still, I have some questions. What is happening outside when Dr. Ingen says this?
There's all sorts of types hanging around outside. I think they're close to figuring out what we're doing here, which is obviously going to have an impact on what we're doing here. So, anything you can do? It's important that we finish everything as planned.
It's important that we finish everything as planned? What's his plan? My thinking is that the machines and Dr. Ingen are trying to gather data on how to be human. Dr. Ingen himself is a machine that craves connection. He talks and chats as if he was talking to you, the machine, or Edith, before the test subject even wakes.
Where would that leave me? What else would I do?
And I actually think he's stuck in his own loop, and the secret ending shows it occurring to him in both meanings of that word. At the end of his phone call, he's been given his own useless square, his loop is happening to him, and it occurs to him that he is stuck talking to machines forever.
Sad.
It could even be this exact scene that blurs the line between human and machine, where Dr. Ingen is illogically repeating his actions, hoping for a change. Such a human thing to do. So, I found a cool reference to Statik and Little Nightmares 2. Another charming and haunting game by Tasia that was just released. Please don't let me spoil it for you. That might provide robust evidence that Little Nightmares and Static are in the same universe. Music from the demo in Static can be heard playing on TVs in Little Nightmares 2. Here's my reaction to it in my first Little Nightmares 2 playthrough. There's gonna be static music in here, if this isn't it. By the way, my nerves are shot by this point, so I'm very quiet and tired, but clearly my conditioning was successful and I had an auditory reaction. Man, that would be sick if they were the same universe. I played the co-op in Static and I found the Little Nightmares key. And I've seen on the internet, sorry I couldn't find who spotted it first, the puzzle box in Little Nightmares. This interlude quote by Ingen makes me think that he could be talking about Mono, Six, or any other little person running around.
Last night they were up to all sorts of shenanigans.
Trying the locks, throwing things around, shining their silly little lights. I got very little done.
And it's only a matter of time before they see what I'm up to down here.
But what could the implications be if they are the same universe? Does that mean that all the human test subjects are brain dead and we're harvesting their brain data from their bodies? Indeed, I think this next quote could be referencing the effects of the signal tower in Little Nightmares 2.
Taylor. Ingen.
It's over. The noise has stopped at last, and I wonder, was it you? Was it?
I'm alone down here with nothing but my machines for company, and I feel senseless.
Ingen, being unaffected perhaps by the noise/signal from the tower, adds more weight to the idea that he's a machine, but this is purely speculative. He might even be wondering if it was his friend he could hear being noisy or even dying. However, I'm not exactly sure about his phone buddy, because in one phone call he talks as if the person is gone, but then asks if they can visit him the next day.
I imagine you know who this is. Sorry it's been so long, but I wanted to wait till we were almost done.
But now you're not here, and I'm left talking to yet another machine. Perfect. Anyway, I know this might hurt, but people keep all sorts of secrets from each other.
These people come to us with their eyes wide open, and we take it from there. Still, I feel we've been a little unfair in your case, and I'd like to make it up to you. If you can be here tomorrow, we're having what I like to call a release party. I think you'll enjoy it.
To me, this seems like Dr. Ingen is talking to a human and thinks that releasing the human will please his bud, but like I said, I can't be sure. Maybe we could do with a sequel. With all that being said, here's a recap of my main takeaways. Number 1, we are the machine plugged into the human, not the test subject whose hands are stuck in the puzzle box. We're helping Dr. Ingen to harvest the human data. 2. Dr. Ingen is a robot/android stuck in a loop, forever testing and searching for special people. 3. The secret ending is great. I totally made a video where I pretend to be the other person on the call. It's totally not cringy. Definitely check it out if you want. And number 4, Static and Little Nightmares 2 are such great games and might be in the same universe. Shout out to Tasia Studios. My goodness, you made an immersive, unique, and compelling game with the perfect mix of accessible puzzles, storytelling, and environment. This really is a special VR game that has had a profound impact on me, so thank you. I just love the feeling that something deeper is going on, and that part of the fun is looking through the puzzles and putting together what might actually be going on. Also, I figured out an anagram hidden in Static, which I explain on this old account, and I'm pretty proud of that find, so check that out if you want. It's totally also not cringy at all. Thanks so much for watching. I'm happy to discuss in comments. I stream over on Twitch, and I'll see you guys around. Bye.